Hey there, and welcome back to Chords to Chords from Zero to Pleasure. My name is James Spear, and in the last video, we learned about how to name the white notes on the piano. We learned that the notes are named in alphabetical order from A to G, starting from here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you know where C is, it helps you find everything else. Now that was last video. In this video, we are going to talk about half steps and whole steps and flats and sharps. What is a whole step, or what is a half step? What are steps? Steps are the distance between one note and another note. So if you look at the keyboard, you see from here to here, that is a step. A whole step, when you look at the keyboard, and you find two notes with one note in between them, the distance between these two notes is a whole step. So if you take one note and you skip over the note next to it to the next note, then you have just stepped a whole step, okay? So from here to here is a whole step because you take this note, you skip over to the note directly beside it to the next note. So from here to here, you have a whole step. From here to here, you also have a whole step because you're going from this note, skipping the note right next to it, and coming to the next note. So there you have a whole step, okay? So now that you know what a whole step is, let's take a look at what a half step is. So now let's look at what a half step is. So we know that a whole step is skipping one key and going on to the next one. A half step is going to the very next key. So from here to here is a half step. 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 Here to here. Those are all half steps. A whole step is the combination of two half steps. So if you get mixed up and you can't figure out what to call this or how to find a whole step, just think in your mind, okay, just like in math, you have two halves make up one whole, two half steps make up one whole step. So you take one note, go a half step, then take that note and go another half step. From there to there. Half, half, whole. So you have a whole step right here. Whole, 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 whole. This is half. So now that we understand what a whole step and what a half step is, let's learn what flats and sharps are, okay? So before we look at what they are on the keyboard, I want you to imagine a mountain and a valley, okay? Most of the time, when you have a mountain, the peak is sharp and the valley is pretty much flat. You can think of it as flat compared to the mountain peak. So you can think of high up with a sharp mountain peak and way low is just a flat plain, just a flat valley. So when you think of flats and sharps in music, think flat, you're down low, and sharp, you're up high, okay? In music, when you have a flat or a sharp on a note, the flat means you take that note down one half step, and the sharp means you take it up one half step. So let's look at what this means on the piano. So let's say I have an A, and I want to make an A sharp. Would I go up or down, okay? Remember, a mountain peak is sharp, a valley is pretty much flat, so I want to go where it's sharp. So I would go up a half step, up one half step. If I wanted to make this same A flat, then I would go down a half step, okay? Let's say I want to find D sharp or D flat. I take D and I go up one half step, or that's for D sharp. If I want to make it flat or lower, I would take it down 1/2 step. So all of these black notes have two names. They derive their names from the white notes. What the white notes are called decides what the black notes are called. If a black note is flat from a white note, then you call it flat. Like, let's say I have A flat. So I would call this black note A flat. But come and take a closer look. If I take G and I want to make it sharp, I go up to the same note as if I was making A flat. So G sharp and A flat use the same black note, okay? So that's why every black note has two names. You have G sharp and A flat, both the same name of the same black note. So depending on what you're doing, what the key is, how you're playing, everything that's going on in the song, that will determine how you name the black note. But how you play, how you press the black note is all the same, so don't worry about that. Just G sharp, A flat is the same black note. So, let's review. A whole step is the distance between two notes, and the two notes have one note in between them, so a whole step from G would be either down to F because you're skipping this, or up to A because you're skipping this, or a whole step from B would either be down to A because you're skipping this, or it'd be up to C sharp or D flat because you're skipping this. Okay? A flat is when you take one note and move it down a half step. A sharp is when you take that note and bring it up a half step. So I have my A and I go up 1/2 step. So again, if this was helpful to you, I would love it if you would like the video and subscribe so that you can keep seeing these as I put them out, so that if you are trying to learn the piano for the fun, you can do it. I'll see you in the next video. Hey there, welcome back to Course to Chords, from Zero to Pleasure. My name is James Spear, and in the last video, we learned about how to name the notes, the white notes. What they are and what they are. On the keyboard, when you have a flat or on any instrument, you take one note, go a half step, and then another note, then take that note. You can do it. I'll see you in the next video.